Hello, you guys. Welcome to the Ultra Life podcast. This is the Performance Accelerator podcast for high level entrepreneurs, professionals, and athletes. It is not just about fitness, it is about 100xing your life and business through peak mental and physical performance. That is what you are going to get here. I am so excited to bring you tips and tools that I use to help you, as well as guest interviews from some amazing folks that have achieved their ultra life. So, we're going to give you all the goods on how you can reach and live your ultra life, which to me means you can have it all. Okay. You can have the business, the relationships, the kids, the health and fitness, being an athlete. You can have it all. You are not done, no matter what your age or circumstances, and that you can do more than you think. All of those things are possible here in this space. So I am so excited to bring this to you guys. Okay. So thank you guys for being here. Very excited. Okay. So it is, as I'm recording this, November 7th, 2024. So today's episode is brought on by quite a few different challenging events and things that have happened in the last 2 months for me personally and for the entire world. So literally, it is days after the election here in America. So some people have feelings about that, right? So I want to offer for you guys today. Sorry. And not only that, but here in Asheville, where I live, we went through the worst, most devastating hurricane natural disaster event that has happened to this city and community in over 1,000 years. And Lord knows it looked a lot different here 1,000 years ago. So literally infrastructure, I mean, it will literally take us years to fully recover from this hurricane. The amount of damage it's done, it's still just sitting because there's just so much of it that will need to be rebuilt. So it was, a very traumatic, challenging time and event. We still don't have drinkable water here. Can use it for like flushing toilets and washing clothes and dishes in a certain way. But like you can't brush your teeth and put your toothbrush under the sink. So there are still things that we are experiencing. And then on top of that, I went through a very big personal change that was challenging and that had grief that came with it. So there's been a lot that's gone on for me and anyone in my city. And I know, and then for everybody listening to this who's in America and hopefully got to vote, is whatever feelings you're experiencing through this election. And then honestly, whatever it is, for you in your life, we all are going to have, whether it's the natural disaster, we lose someone really close to us, we end a relationship, or you have kids, or you lose, what the challenges in life will come, right? There will be uncertainty. There will be challenges. There will be devastating things that happen to each and every one of us. So I want to offer this as I've been coaching a lot of people through the hurricane, through the election, through results in their business, through results in their health and fitness. And so I really want to offer some tools today on how you can thrive through uncertainty and challenges and devastating things that happen in your life. Okay. So let's dive in. So the first thing I want to offer and say before we actually truly get into the actual like tools to use to help process and come out the other side and keep moving forward is you do need to actually feel the feelings of whatever is coming up from X event or challenge, right? So what I mean by that is like, if you are feeling sad and if you feel like you want to cry, you need to get that out. Maybe it's not in front of your kids. Maybe it's later right before bed, like I was doing multiple nights. Maybe it's when you go for a walk and you get some space. If you're frustrated, if you're angry, we need to be able to experience these feelings. Okay. So we don't want to just cover it up with the tools I'm going to give you. We want to use the tools that I'm going to give you to allow you to process and feel the emotions and use them to work through that a lot quicker and to come out the other side. Keep going strong, right? Whatever that is. That may be walking, that may be running. You get to choose how, like some people it takes days, some people it takes weeks, right? We all have our own timeline. But you really need to start with feeling the actual emotions, allowing the space for that versus like covering them up or drinking over them or eating over them or ignoring them and working over them. Okay. So just need to know that first and foremost. Now let's get into the tools. Let's see. I've got about 10 things here. Let's see what it works out to be. So number one is to journal. This is one of my go-tos. I swear to you guys, again, like secret sauce tool that I have used for most of my life. And I cannot tell you the profound transformation and tool it is for me in my life. Like I have gone through many things and my journal has always been there for me. And that is one of the reasons. It's like, if your girlfriend or friends are busy, if you can't walk because it's raining outside and it's cold and it's dark and it's not safe, like your journal is literally there for you anytime you want it. If you wake up at 3 a.m. before you go to bed in the middle of the day, it is a 24/7 tool that you can literally use anytime. So that's why I also love it. It works for you. It's not anything we have to like plan or schedule or rely on outside circumstances. So I want to offer a couple ways you can use your journal if you're not familiar with this tool and how I use it. First and foremost, I want you to pick a journal if you do not have one is like something you love and like. Like do not get the like $2 little like, school notebook we get for our kids. Like you're a grown ass adult. It's okay to spend $10 or $20 on the journal that lights you up, that you love, that you want to go to. It's kind of just like the style of clothes we wear. If we have like, yeah, maybe the clothes fit, but it's like, ugh, like we do not feel like ourselves and our vibe, you won't wear them, nor will you feel the most elevated version, best version of yourself. So find a journal that fits you first and foremost. Okay. I like to go to Target, TJ Maxx to find mine. Maybe you find it on Amazon too. And then same goes with like pens and like markers, what you use. Fine. You don't just have to use like the big pen, right? That's like $1 or the, Joe's business down the street that you got at the local networking event. Like get the pen that lights you up. Okay. And how you can use this journal is one as a brain dump. So truly, I will just like write what is coming to me. Like it might be celebrating something. It might be just like sharing, like I'm sharing to a best friend. It might be like some epiphany, some like evaluations and be like, oh my gosh, I will never ever do this XYZ again. Whatever it is, just brain dump whatever is on your mind and your brain that you need to get out of you. Okay. So that's number one. Number two is gratitude, which I'm sure you've heard this. And I like to offer you can do 3 things you're grateful for. And this is the cool thing about this, you guys. Some days you may brain dump and that's it. And that's it. Some days you may do a long ass list of gratitude and that's it. Some days you might do a little of both. One thing you're grateful for and a little brain dump. Okay. So, and there's one more I'm going to give you here. So just know, I think a lot of times what happens when I've coached people around journaling is it feels like it has to be done this way at 7 a.m. every Monday through Friday for 30 minutes. And these 3 prompts must be complete for a total of 30 minutes. You guys, do not do that, okay? Like sometimes I journal for an hour or hours. Sometimes I'm like, I'm ready to fucking work and I like don't even journal. And sometimes it's 5 minutes, right? Stop putting rules and boundaries on yourself for what this is a tool for you to serve you, not to limit you, not to keep you in a box, not to put more rules and standards on your life. Okay. I digress. So third thing you can do to journal is to write your intentional thoughts. I generally like to do this maybe after I brain dump, but I also may, again, start with it. So what that looks like is I am strong. I am the thickest, fastest, strongest female ultra runner out there. I am a wealthy woman. It's writing intentional thoughts that you want to think versus our brain is going to offer us and we'll get into this later as another tool, negative thoughts 80% of the time. So we want to rewire our brains and our subconscious, and we want to create and say out loud and write and get it out of us intentional thoughts that we want to think instead about who we are or who we see ourselves as. So whatever comes up for you, right? I'm a leader. I'm a badass mom. Okay, that one, parents, please, mothers, I know as a mom, it can be so easy to be like, you're not doing enough, and I need to do more and blah, blah, blah. And instead, what if you're just like, instead of all that drama and that story, you're like, I'm a badass mom. I'm a really fucking good mom. What if that's the new story and thoughts you start telling yourself? Okay. So, and in regards, let's go back to like the challenges and uncertainty. Like, I am strong enough to overcome this challenge. I will get through this challenge. I know there's a silver lining in this challenge. Any of those could be thoughts that you write too. Okay. All right. So that was number one, journaling. Number two, of course, you guys know I'm going to say this, but I'm going to say it really clearly and intentionally, working out. This is also one of my number one tools. I'm sure you all guessed this, but this is literally one of my number one tools to use to process emotions and get through things. You guys, I was able to literally go through a hurricane that devastated our city and town and had to be a single mom, evacuate us and do a 2.5 day drive up to Chicago and work while I was also making breakfast, lunch, and dinner for two energized little boys and keeping up, letting people know how I was doing, what was going on, where I was at. And I was able to get through that. I'm like back at it. I was back at work within a couple weeks and serving my people and leading my people and continuing to show up and be here now. And we were out there for a month. I would get up at 4 or 5 a.m. to still be able to do work and journal and even walk. Like that's the power because I used working out to process the emotions. So what is it for you? And I really want to offer for your workouts, like, again, be expansive about it. It's not like, oh, we're working out to lose weight, or let me just do my normal 45 minutes at the gym spin class and this every class that I go to every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And like, go for a hike, go for a walk, go for a hike like do something in nature. Maybe it is your normal class. That's fine if that's it too. Maybe you ask to come after the gym closes and just like hop on the bike or something. I cannot tell you the number of times I've cried on a spin bike in front of teaching my class very vulnerably because I was going through some shit. And I've cried by myself in a spin room by myself. I've cried on a run. Like, it is okay. Release the emotions. Use the workout to allow you to let go and to process them. Okay. And use multiple different workouts and weights. You get to choose what that is for you, but do not limit yourself. Okay. I want you to think of workouts as your tools. It's like your tools in your toolbox to be able to process and to move forward. Okay. I'm going to just say this one very clearly separately from workouts, which is walking. Number 3 is walking. Literally, there is no way physiologically that our human bodies do not increase the feel-good hormones when we walk and decrease cortisol stress when we walk. No way. Your body, my body, I don't care. Okay. And the dosage doesn't matter. Could be 5 minutes, could be 10 minutes, could be 30 minutes. Obviously, a higher dosage probably elicits more effects, but you can get that effect in 5 minutes, you guys. So I say this very clearly and separately because kind of like the journaling thing, walking for 98% of us is so accessible, no matter what shape you are in right now, no matter like how busy your schedule is, which listen, we need to talk if you're not getting your workouts in general and you feel like you don't have time because you do. But walking, you could honestly walk and listen to this. I want to encourage you guys. I'll probably be doing that throughout these podcasts, but like I do this all the time. I walk and talk for connection calls. I walk and talk while I'm making a post. I walk and talk when I'm talking to my girlfriends. I've literally like had do a Marco Polo while I'm running with my girlfriends. They think it's hilarious and impressive. They're like, oh my God, how are you doing this? Walk it out. And maybe you need to go somewhere peaceful and quiet where you can feel safe to cry and walk. Get out in nature. You're going to double dip on your benefits when you're out in nature and walking. Okay. Maybe you walk with a friend. Like walking is just such an incredible tool to be able to process what you're going through and feel better in an instant. It is literally like a magic pill. Okay. Take your pill, go for a walk. Okay. Number 4 is to have alone time, create some white space for during this challenging time versus going versus working through it and just being like, "Ugh, like I just got to keep going and like nothing, or through the breakup or through whatever it is, like you just keep going. I want you to create some white space time. This is literally something I talked to someone about yesterday because they were processing the election. We were like, this day is like you cancel the lunch with your friend. You don't have to return people's calls and emails and all the to-dos you got to do. You can take a nap, go for the walk, create some white space time. And this doesn't mean you have to do this for days, for weeks, for months. Like you might only need a day of white space time. You might need a weekend. You might need a week. I needed a week to process from the hurricane. Like I did not even have a moment to myself that first week to get us out. Right. So when I finally could go for a run, and then I could finally get into a rhythm and we landed where we were going to land. So I could get up at 4 or 5 a.m. to have a little more white space time. But I created that intentionally. It was really intentional about going to bed, about I didn't drink before bed so I could wake up early. I set my alarm. I did the things to set myself up for success to create that white space time. So I would really offer for you to create, like delegate, tell the people you're going to do the appointments. I got rid of all the appointments and things. I was like, listen, if I even responded back, but I was just like, I will let you know when I can reschedule. I didn't even try to reschedule for like a week or two or even a month from now. I was like, I will get back to you when I can. Period. Boundaries. No people pleasing. So find yourself some white space time to allow yourself to actually do these things in process. Okay. Number, what do we got? 5 here is taking care of yourself, fueling and sleeping even better. So this is so key. And it doesn't have to be perfect, you guys. Listen, like we ate some stuff too because we were traveling and gone. But like I was very intentional that I'm already under layers of like stress and trauma and challenges. I do not want to add feeling like shit to that. When that's something I can get to choose. Even if it's gas station food, I can choose the beef jerky. I can choose the like little charcuterie plates, not the Lunchable ones, but like the salami, meat and cheese, and a protein shake. Like that's what I got on the way up for one of our stops I think it was lunch. Like that's what I got, not, pizza and donuts and whatever, just because, oh, it's just a gas station. There's no options. You guys, I see it all over the place. Like gas stations, truck stops, all these places have incredible food choices these days. Hard-boiled eggs, Greek yogurts. I mean, there are options. Dunkin' Donuts has egg white sandwiches and avocado toast. There are ways, right? You can get a black coffee with just a little cream instead of the sugary thing. So there are options. So I would like still finding ways to fuel your body and do not add to the layer of stress and trauma your body is going through. Do not add to that physically by fueling poorly. And same with sleep. I was like, I might have gotten 2 pages into my book before bed the last month. Like I was just like, I am out. I would use my book as like my sleeping pill. And I just do love to read. I'm a total nerd if you didn't know that. So I would just read. But like when my boys went to bed, I was like out right after them. like done. I had my tea, I had my water. I was just very intentional about going to bed and getting my sleep in, and even sleeping in some mornings. Not every day did I get up at 4 or 5. Some days, like if it was a Saturday, I allowed myself to sleep in. Maybe that was 6, maybe that was 7. This morning I actually slept in until 7 because I needed the sleep and I allowed my body to get to it. Some days I do that. So really allowing yourself the space to recover. Sleep is so important for that. And when I say recover, it's because we're not just recovering from like our physical training workouts, but we're trying to recover from this challenge and this trauma and our body and the cortisol that's coming through it, and the anxiety and the stress and those feelings, like what it creates in our bodies. We want to give it time to ground back down, turn on the parasympathetic nervous system. We need to give it time to that versus just being in this constant state of like, right? So sleep is super important. Okay. That is number 5. Number 6. All right. Number 6. I'm sure you guys do that, but I do this, but I really like to be clear and point this out. It is such a powerful tool. And then I'm going to share a trend, maybe after this next one, is talking to friends, to vent, to simply share. But who are those people that you can count on that can fill your cup? I want to be really clear about this. This is not just, friends that you can swim in the pool of drama in and be like, oh, did you hear about Susie? Oh my God, she lost her home and it's so terrible. And we're never going to recover from this, right? I mean, did you and the government's not doing anything about it and we're not getting our feet, like all of that are like, do not swim in the pool with friends who are in a negative state and staying there. Let them be there. I want you to find those friends. It's usually just like the 2 or 3, or your family, your mom, your sister, your brother, who are like there for you. And they're like, oh, I'm so sorry you're going through this and you're experiencing this. I'm here for you if you need anything. Where you can just like vent and share and get it off your chest and talk through it, right? You guys know, right? It's like, I always like to say, like, when I get to like talk to my girlfriends, like my best girlfriends, and you share, you just feel better, right? You just feel like lighter and like, and there's a reason for that. We need to get, okay, I'm going to share it now. So if you guys have noticed, we need to get these feelings out of us. We need to process by getting the thoughts and the feelings out of us. So have you noticed? How do we get it out of us? We journal it on paper. You can't see me right now if you're not watching the YouTube video and you're listening to the podcast. And I'm literally like it's like going from my body, my hand from my body out. We journal, we get it out of our brains and onto the paper. When we work out, we get those feelings out of our body through using energy. We walk, same thing. Talking to friends to vent, we're getting it out of our bodies and out of our brains, right? So find those few friends that you can go to. The next one, similar theme here with getting it out, is get coaching. Or counseling, professional help of some kind in addition to the friends. Our friends are fantastic and amazing. We want those. We want that level of support. And the way that I've been able to thrive through not just challenges, but also like thrive to like on my next level up is through any and all of these things also. So getting coaching, that is how I have been able to also get through this. And on the other side is through being able to get coaching and figure out, okay, these are the facts. And now what are we going to do about it? What do we want to think and do about it? And have somebody see a different perspective versus where I'm at, right? So whether that's honestly a coach, a counselor, a therapist, like find some outside third-party support that's going to see still the possibility and the potential and allow you to see it so you can keep moving forward. Okay. Next is, I don't know what we're on here. Let's see. Number 8 is finding new intentional thoughts to reframe what happened and that will serve you for where you want to go, for how you want to keep moving forward. And you guys, you know what? I just want to also share here too. Sometimes the moving forward, whatever that looks like based on your challenges and what happened to you, that might not be the same goal anymore, right? That might be, I'm trying to, I don't know, get my kids a new home or build it. Like the goal might have changed, but the fact is we still want to find a way to move forward and not just sit and live in the past or even current circumstances, to be able to pull ourselves out to find a way to keep moving forward, even if the goal has changed and we have new goals based on it, right? So what does that mean? Find new intentional thoughts. Talked about it a little bit in journaling, but essentially there are facts in life and then there are our thoughts about it. So the Hurricane Helene, the fact is it happened, right? And it caused all these XYZ literal devastation things, businesses down, buildings torn down, greenways, concrete rolled up. Those are facts. And then we get to have thoughts about that we intentionally choose. Our brain is going to offer us the 80% negative thoughts 80% of the time. It is going to say, oh, we'll never recover from this. Like this is so devastating. Nothing will ever, I don't want to say nothing will be the same, but like we will have thoughts like this. Nothing will ever be the same. We're never going to recover. Like I'm never going to make as much money, or now my business is ruined, or whatever. XYZ thoughts are coming up just from your brain. It's what our brains are going to offer us. And once you have gotten to a place of processing the sadness, the grief, through whatever you're going through, we can start to find new intentional thoughts that we want to think instead. This is the power of our brains, you guys. And this is the power of coaching. This is the power of how you get to move through something quicker, better, with less stress, more ease, get better, bigger results. So when we start to find the intentional thoughts we want to think that will serve us. So what that could look like is, I know I'm going to get through this. I know the other side of this, I am going to be stronger. I know my business will be stronger because of this. I know there are silver linings in this situation. There were for me 1,000%. I had many silver linings and things I felt. I'm grateful as heck for water. When you don't get to take a shower, or that's not an option. And when we got up to Chicago and I got to actually take showers, I could, every time I took a shower, I was so freaking grateful. Okay. So where can you shift your thoughts? What do you want to think that will serve you instead? Okay. That is available to all of us to do. And this is something, again, doesn't require anybody else. You can literally do this. You can journal on it too. Okay. Okay. Last one. What do we got? Number 8. So this one is super uplifting and fun. And again, however long you need to process those feelings first and then use these tools along the way. Okay. But I would offer to use this one throughout. I've had many days in the last 2 weeks where I have cried and I've also had a really joyful day. It's okay. We can exist and have both grief and sadness and anger. And we can also have joy and happiness in the same day. You guys, if you are not familiar with this, or this is like, this is possible. I have experienced it. Many successful people experience this every day. Everybody has shit in their lives and challenges. It's how we choose to process it and how we choose to think about it, and hold the duality that we can do both, that both are possible, and it's not going to stop us from moving forward to the life we want to live. Okay. All right. So the last one is, do things that you love and bring you joy. You guys, we can do this through horrible, devastating events. For me, that was running. Do things that you enjoy and bring you joy and that you love. So for me, the moment we landed back in Asheville after a month of being gone, single mom working that whole time, like after that traumatic event, the very first thing that I did after dropping the boys off with their dad was I worked for a little bit and then I went for a run though. That was my first thought. I'm like, I need to go for a run. I want to see my city, and running brings me joy. It was actually a beautiful day out. So I went for an 8-mile run from my house down to the greenway. I wanted to see my greenway. Like that's what was completely covered. I don't even know, 20 feet of water. Like it was just crazy, covered buildings type of water. So I went down, ran the greenway, stopped 3 different times to cry because when I saw what I saw, it was devastating. It was very sad. Um, yeah. So I had to stop 3 different times to cry. Yet at the same time, I was running and experiencing joy because I was able to run, and running makes me feel good and I love it. And then I got to feel that feeling afterwards, right? So see that, right? We can still create the space and do things that we love and bring us joy, right? I went to the sauna house last week for some self-care, and I love the sauna house. It was another thing, like I was like, oh, I really feel like the sauna house is where I need to go to take care of myself. That was like a ping that came. It's grounding. It's such an ambient, the sauna house. For those of you that don't know, if you're here in Asheville, you need to go. They're fabulous. Shout out. But it's like they have hot saunas, a walk-in cold plunge, heated furniture. It is like the most serene, beautiful place. Downstairs cedar sauna, tea. They figured it all out to get the water filtered and clean for us to be able to use it. And it opened a week after I got here. So I went there like the day it opened because I was free. And it brought me joy and happiness. And I'm almost positive I cried later that night when I got home, grieving for different reasons. So do you see? I still want you to find those ways, like bake something with your kids, go to the park with your kids, go for your run or take the dance class. You still can. Go to Barnes and Noble. Like I'm saying some things that I love to do that bring me joy. So like spend time with people you love, right? Like find those things. I love to like find places. Some days I didn't want to run the Greenway to see that. So I would go into North Asheville side of town where there wasn't as much damage and devastation. I was like, okay, today I want that. That's going to bring me joy. It's one of my favorite spots where we are going to land and buy our home. So that, like, find the joy. It might be the place you go, the place you walk, the people you're with, the food. Find some more joy and love. Okay, you guys, these are my tips and tools for you guys as you may be processing, whether it's the election, something devastating and challenging going through your life. You can reference this podcast anytime. Please share it with any friends or family that you know that need to hear something like this. And I would love it also if you guys could leave a 5-star rating and review for the podcast. That is how we are going to reach more people and help more people. And I really have some great guests lined up for this coming season. And I really want to be able to expand the reach of the podcast so we can give those guests a warm welcome. You guys are going to love them. Okay. And just keep that coming so we can have some really powerful, amazing superstar guests in the future if we can get the word out and share the podcast more. So please leave that 5-star rating and review and subscribe if you haven't done that already. And I will see you guys again next time. Bye.